Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is Talk Story Thursday on rhythm and resilience. Small changes lead to big shifts, creating rhythm and resilience during this time of universal pause. And so many of you have been on the call before, and we know that what we're doing is just trying to help support each other and build community as we navigate these times. And so I wanted to start a little bit with a prayer from Sonia, and I want to recap from yesterday from Ron Hall and Beth Hall, the author of Same Kind of Different as Me. And I'm sure you got takeaways from that. I know I did, and I just love their sweet spirit. I posted a quote last night about what they call quarantine jail. Quarantine jail has been a good sentence, is what they've said. But the quote I really want to start with today is, and this is such a good reminder, whether we are rich or poor, we are all walking our way home. And it's so funny to start with that quote by Denver Moore, a homeless man in Texas who befriends this art dealer who's kind of all that in a bag of chips, and the lessons they learn together. It's just a fabulous story. And it's interesting as we share my guest today, my friend of 20 years, Sonia Choquette. Let me introduce you, but I want to tell you why I picked that quote, and it makes sense as we read her bio. For 40 years, Sonia has been an intuitive guide and spiritual teacher. For the past 30, she's traveled the world, inspiring others as an author and speaker. Sonia's life was unfolding as life does until a few years ago. Hard to believe it's been about 10 years ago, Sonia, within 6 weeks that your brother died and your father died, and your marriage imploded. And her life, as she knew it, fell apart, or some would say, in your circle, fell together. Even after being the leader who taught hundreds of thousands of people around the world, Sonia found herself shattered by so much loss happening so fast. She was guided to undertake the pilgrimage, the trip of Camino de Santiago across Spain to help her heal and find her way forward. Along the journey, she encountered all her old stuff, the pieces of her life that she had not yet fully addressed and that needed to be forgiven. Oddly enough, we talked about forgiven yesterday as well. Step by step, Sonia began to walk herself back to the most profound level of wholeness she had ever experienced. I would say you kind of were walking home, and you have a book. You have several books. How many books do you have, by the way?
I have 27 books.
Okay, just a couple.
Right.
just a couple dozen. Well, welcome to Rhythm and Resilience. I do want to start with your prayer, but I really start with your meditation. But I really wanted to read this prayer. I had looked today on my Google Drive of all the quotes I have from you, and it's surprising. I have more quotes from you than anybody else, Sonia. Wow. So your work is profound. But this one really speaks to our times right now. Please, God, strip away all the beliefs I hold on to that keep me from being happy and authentically me. Sonia Choquette. So lead us in a couple minutes meditation, and then we'll get started with our interview.
Well, I would like to start by inviting people to just look around the room wherever they are, because that brings you back to your body. It brings you back to the moment, out of your head, and just take a breath in through the nose very slowly. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth. This kind of calms that overbusy brain, and exhale like you're blowing out candles, and empty yourself. Just exhale slowly and completely. And when you've reached the end of that breath, breathe in again very slowly, but this time into the heart space. And then open your jaw and let out a nice deep sigh. Ah. And you'll find at that place you end up in a location in your body. Your consciousness shifts to the bottom of your heart, the top of the solar plexus, and I call this home. This is where the spirit comes into the body. This is where we're in our place of power, connected to our authentic self. And from that place, I would invite you to close your eyes and tune in, because that home base is a place of communication with your spirit. So we tune in and listen to the divine spirit in us. And we ask the Holy Mother, Father, God, and the divine light of love within us. Thank you for this opportunity to step away from the the buzz and the drone of the outer world and reconnect to who we are in present time in a quiet and contained place that has been quite a gift and very unusual. Help me to recognize the gift of being connected to my spirit, being connected to what is important, being grounded in my body, and being contained enough to know that what I'm looking for is right here in my heart. Allow me to remain centered in that place in my heart as the world begins to open up and unfold in the next few weeks and little while so that I don't lose myself again in the whirl of the world around me. Thank you for the gift of allowing me to remember who I am, to listen to who I am, and to be the best of who I am in the world. And I thank you. And so it is.
So it is. Well, and so it's fun getting to see you. And as we've been doing these conversations, we're actually on week 4. Total,
Wow.
Talk Story Thursday. We've done a Monday through Friday conversation, Monday motivation, Tuesday Total Health Tuesday, Wednesday wisdom, Thursday Talk Story, Thursday, and then Fun Friday. And so we're actually getting ready to wrap up the first series, and we've decided to continue in May, just on Monday, Fridays, not every day. And Sonia, you know me. I love to celebrate people, and you love to do that as well. I love to give guidance, and I think that the biggest gift we have as somebody who's a public person is the guidance we give. And what I love about you is that I think about you probably every day in some of the lessons you've taught me. One of the things I remember saying is don't give guidance unless somebody asks for it. So let's start right there. So celebrate, guide, connect, hope. That's what we're going to do today. But I wanted to go with that one line that you said to me many, many years ago. Don't give guidance if people don't want it.
Well, I was very fortunate to have a beautiful teacher myself. And as I was learning and developing and shaping my life to be an intuitive guide, my teacher said that the most important thing for us to do is respect the boundaries and the autonomy of other people to live their lives as they direct at their own pace, at their own lessons, and to offer guidance that's uninvited is an intrusion of their boundaries and disrespectful to their spirit. And frankly, it's also a practical piece of advice because unless someone's asking, their energy is full and you're just wasting it, and then you're both frustrated. So I think what you can give instead is listen. And you can encourage and you can say, well, when you're ready, I'm sure your spirit will guide you. And that then helps rewire them back to the place where there is direction, because people are not always ready for change. Change is a big deal. Having you read my little introduction, I have been through so much change. I don't even recognize the life I had when I even wrote that book. Everything has changed, but it's not an easy process. And if we try to offer guidance, part of us might be just impatient to hurry someone else's experience along. I've never seen that successfully happen. I've just seen frustration happen. So for that reason, it's better to listen and instead of give guidance, give reassurance that their inner guide is there when they're ready.
Well, thinking about guidance, I want to remind our listeners that if you have some questions, put that in the chat, and when it feels right in the conversation, we'll bring it in. And you guys know the drill of how we're going to close this. So remember that as we're going along this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're at. This evening, in case you're in London, like Sonia is today. Sonia, when you think about the journey and you look back, what are some of the gifts? Let me change my question. What was your biggest stress before COVID-19?
Actually, the interesting thing is my biggest stress was how I was going to have the energy to do all the travel and commitments I had lined up for 2020, because I traveled 150,000 kilometers or miles last year, and I was pretty much set to do the same this year. And I know that I can do everything in my mind. I want to show up and be there and live edge to edge, and yet I can also overcommit and not register how to take care of myself in that process. That's always been my blind spot, how to take care of my physical self. So that was my biggest stress then, and the universe certainly eliminated that problem for me like a bowling ball down the alley with a strike, because everything's off the table and I'm happy. So I realized I've actually had just as much contact with the world as before, traveling around just with these new experiences I am having. So my big aha is there's always a way, and be open to there's a lot of different ways to accomplish the same intentions.
Well, you definitely, I know we've talked a few times over the last month, and like I said, you're having a 5-star experience in London with your daughter, who's a fabulous cook, and hopefully you guys are playing a few games. I haven't got my dogs to play games yet, so I love to play that type of connection because it just takes my mind. Sometimes my mind just goes crazy, which So we're thinking about connection. People are feeling disconnected or social isolated. Talk a little about the connection with your spirit. One thing you teach and trust your guides is kind of that connection. And once again, what I love about your message is you're not saying, here, I'm this intuitive and I'm all that in a bag of chips. You're like, we're all intuitive. How can you dial into your own guides and your own connection?
I personally, without taking away from the horrific experiences some humans have had, there is a global opportunity for everybody. We've all been put in time. We've all been sent home. We've all been contained because we were missing something that can only happen when you go inward. First, disconnect from the world and then go inward. And we get what I believe is essential right now, which is a reconnection to our sixth sense, which in my world is your first, the most important. We have an inner guidance, but it's not intrusive. It's not been socially valued. But without that inner compass guiding you, I personally, there's 2 questions I propose to people. One, if your inner guidance isn't running your life, who is? Because it's not you. And how's that working out for you? So in going inward and reconnecting, my role in life is to help rewire people to this inner compass and to let them know it's always worked. You just haven't paid attention. It didn't stop working. You just distract yourself or were told not to listen. Right now, the biggest awakening on the planet is this reconnection. We can only watch so much Netflix. We can only be distracted so much, but eventually we sit with ourselves. And underneath the mental noise that disturbs us and we run from, underneath that is that deeper voice that says, everything's okay. I got you. I'll take care of you. Even if I take care of you by walking you to heaven, I'm with you. You're always with you. And that is the spirit, your spirit connected to the Holy Spirit. And that connection calms our fears. I don't know if any external thing can do that. That inner connection is what heals that anxiety and free fall and fear and that, to me, is the most profound healing we need of all, because it helps us feel again whole. So the benefit of this global timeout, this global quarantine, is be with yourself and not the top notes of your brain, which I call your barking dog. Be with that deeper self that makes your heart beat, because that self is a reliable compass that is trying to get your attention and can take care of you better than anything, anywhere, from anyone.
How do you know that you're in that? What are some awareness that people could have? They know that they're in their barking dog versus their spirit.
When you asked me to start with the prayer meditation, I brought you there. There's actually a physical tool you can use. You breathe out and then you end up when you breathe at the end of that sigh, your brain is quiet. Instant meditation. That breath inward and then smile. So just let's do that again. Just first exhale, blow everything out like you're blowing out candles. Breathe in slowly. When you're at the end of that exhale, breathe in. And then open the jaw till you hear a click. And you feel the throat chakra, the heart chakra open, and smile. And you'll notice your brain is quiet. The difference between your brain and your intuition is your brain is a talking part of you and your intuition is a listening part of you. It's not talking. The other thing about intuition, inner guidance, is it doesn't speak English. It speaks by vibration. It's an energy. Just like I want you to know that, when you listen to music and it communicates to you, but it may be a classical piece. It's not language. It's vibration. And that's what you understand. And intuition is vibration that we understand. And that vibration, there's 3 types. And I've simplified them. There's red light vibration, green light vibration, and yellow light vibration. So the red light vibration is stop, don't do that. And your body literally wants you to stop. So you feel that it's like in the gut, kind of. It's like, it's not good, not in congruence with your spirit. Then there's green light intuition, which is go for it. The vibration says, do it, take the risk, run like mad. And it makes you smile and it puts a light in your eyes. And then there's yellow light vibration, which is, it's too soon to ask. Things haven't sorted out yet. Be patient, wait. And that's not a big part of our intellectual culture. Our intellectual culture is yes, no, black, white, all or nothing. But intuition is stop, go, or wait. And that wait is a very important part too. And the wait is because things are happening, things are coming together that are not quite in place yet. So if you ask your intuition and you're not getting a red light or a green light, are you getting a wait? And keep it that simple, and you'll find that they feel very different. Red light kind of pulls you inward. Green light lights your face up. And pause, you're listening. You're just listening. So those are some simple signals. But here's another piece I want to share with you. Don't ask your intuition for guidance if you're not really open. And that is the biggest obstacle to getting clear guidance. Is we don't want guidance. We want our inner self to agree with what our mind says, or we want our inner self to approve of something. And so we're not asking from an authentic availability. So don't ask unless you're available for new information.
As we've been going through and having these conversations, and I knew it before, but I've gotten keenly aware by doing this daily, is how I get this chill that's the left side of my body. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's the spirit. And that is like a home run for me. And there's other ways, but that is a major green light. Boom, 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 solid green light. I love that you use the stoplight analogy because I think about that with health and well-being. If you are getting a red light, you really need to stop, unless you're going to end at someplace you don't want to go, whether it's diabetes, anxiety, wrong relationship, wrong career. So I actually have a whole system developed around that. And part of it is because of your guidance over the last 20 years and your friendship. Sonia, you actually have a whole community online, and you've been doing a live video most days, right?
Every day. I have what I call the good vibe tribe, because the other thing about intuition is that we don't really develop it with confidence if we're alone or isolated, or we feel like we don't have support. I grew up in an intuitive family. I was always encouraged. I never was self-conscious about it. So I realized I needed to create that. And then I thought, well, I'm not just going to give you a passive site. I want it to be a dynamic place of connection. So first I create where there's classes, and then I came up with having the members work my books together or work the classes together. So there's always interaction. But then when this pandemic came in, it was actually my daughter, Sabrina. She said, you need to talk to people every day. And I was like, well, yes. So every day, 6 p.m. London time, noon Central time, I get on and I have a daily 15 minutes, just a guidance or connection or take a question or something to be fully present, because that's my commitment. And it's interesting because the tribe is always open, and it has grown a lot, and it has become a real engaged, intuitive, exciting, creative community, and I'm having so much fun with it, and I'm loving everybody, and I'm loving how everybody's helping everybody, and everybody's working together. It really became its own entity, bigger than even my original vision.
Good Vibes Tribe. Our people can find it. These guys can find it. We'll put it in the show notes.
You know what else I created with this? I'm so excited. I just have to brag a little. Your own app, because people are on their phones more. So I put the whole tribe and all the online courses and all, because you get meditations and online courses, and you can access that. Tribe members have an app on their phone, so you don't have to go to a computer. You can, and I just wanted that because and so I put that into a process a year ago. It took quite a while to develop it. I just think it makes it even more accessible and practical for people to have access to the tribe on the go.
And can we find that at soniachoquette.net/Good Vibes Tribe?
Yeah, homepage. Good Vibes Tribe. You can try it. You can quit anytime if it's not for you. It's very fluid, but it's a happy place.
You know, I think for people listening today, it's kind of you're the spoke. There's a wheel, and you're the hub of it. You and your spirit and your intuition, you're the hub. God, all those kind of go together. I don't want you to think that we're not including God in there. So you brought in Holy Spirit and have a divinity and religion. So also grew up Catholic. So there's a lot in this package here today. And so as you are thinking about how do you connect, we want to give you tools, and maybe it's part of this Good Vibe Tribe. Maybe it's part of some of the connections we're making on rhythm and resilience. Maybe it's your dog, but no one goes alone. And I continue to think about. Go ahead.
I just want to say something about that. Didn't mean to interrupt, but because maybe I'm a Catholic background, and believe me, I'm a Hindu Buddhist Catholic with a whole spin of spirituality. But even Jesus had 12 helpers, so I think that's a good model for us to have 12 helpers or 12 resources all the time, and whatever they are.
And how do we keep dialing that in and connecting? Well, Sonia, as I continue to think about some of the lessons I've learned from you throughout the years, one of them, I'll share this one, and it's funny because we've done this many times together, driving in Chicago mostly, is, putting out the guide to find a great parking spot.
Send your runner
to find your parking spot. There's just so many little wisdom that you have shared with me through the years. And, I would have a funny story is I remember sitting on the bus in Hawaii in transit to you, and you talking with Crystal about that she should do some of her stuff online. She's like, no, I can never do it online. By the way, she's 100% online right now.
Yay.
And that was 15 years ago. So that insight, by the way, this is a great time if you have questions in this conversation today. So in this moment, are you giving any special guidance that you want to share with this group of people here today? What I want to say
is that what I want to say to the group of people here today that they may not know is you're leaders. You are not followers. You've been developing your consciousness in your own way, in your own time, but to begin to see yourself, not necessarily that you're even leading others, but you're leading your lives. You're stepping into a new dynamic, and our model has been patriarchal, has been be followers. And I can feel in the vibration, I'm not speaking to followers, I'm speaking to very dynamic, creative humans who are really integrating that. I can trust myself. I'm going to commit. I'm going to learn. I'm going to lead, and I'm going to trust. And I feel like, ask your guides to help you. Ask, don't. Part of the patriarchal model is be a good warrior, go it alone, suck it up. Our new model is open up, connect, pull in, let us move forward together, and let us have all the resources we need, because that's how the universe is set up. So ask for support in your journey as a leader in this new, I feel like we're in an ascension time. Our universe, our human planet is changing frequency and will not change back. We are a different experience than we were a month ago. We are going to have a different experience by the time this ends. We have a new normal that won't change, and you can be a leader in that new normal. So that's very exciting, to be in this confident energy that I'm feeling on the phone. So you can have confidence and questions simultaneously. You can be a leader and be listening for guidance at the same time. It's not one or the other. So that's one of the things I want to just say to the frequency of people right in front of me.
So I don't know much about the astrology, but I think, did we come into a different year, a different season, like the Aquarius? Are we in a different time?
We're in the Aquarius season, and the actual birthday of the new ascension was 4/4/20, which was 4/4/4. And it's a new foundation. So we are shifted. And that means that the majority of the planet is moving into higher consciousness, no matter what you see on the news. The majority of this planet is leaning and tilting toward evolutionary conscious awakening. We are going. So we are at a tipping point, and we've tipped into 51% consciousness awakening. And so that's what this new era is about. I'm actually excited, even though growth is uncomfortable. It's uncertain. We don't quite know. So it's okay to be uncomfortable. It's okay to say, okay, intuitively I know it's okay. I have a lot of questions, maybe waves of anxiety. That's all fine. Just don't grab onto them. Let them come and go. And keep listening inward and keep asking for help. But we are in a new era, and it's better. It's going to be better.
What I heard you say is keep moving.
Yeah, keep moving, which is super important, because we don't want to be energetic landfills of fear. Keep moving your breath, keep breathing, keep singing, keep dancing, keep walking, keep playing. Keep the energy moving. Don't let it settle in and possess you, because there's a lot of catharsis going on right now. A lot of people haven't sat with themselves for this long. So a lot of emotional rustling of bears right now in the brain. A lot of energy flying. So you don't want it to, because if you tend to lean toward being the empath, being receptive, being open, you can also be a sponge. Just keep moving. Just keep things flowing, and keep your breath flowing. The most thing to keep moving is your breath. Don't hold your breath. Just keep breathing. A lot of times in the day. And smile. Breathe and smile, and it'll keep you aligning with this new frequency.
As you've been reaching out to your teachers, friends, and not your students, but your level of community, kind of like through the Transformational Leadership Conference or Council, what advice or guidance are people giving you that you've latched onto?
Don't overwork, because and that is something that I still have to watch. Because with being at home and being able to work all the time virtually now, it's super easy to not ever stop. So don't overwork, and just pace it. A teacher of mine once said, we all go to the river of life with our cup, and we take our cup from the river of life and we attend to our cup. We don't take on the whole river. And I've thought about that a lot in this last few weeks, because there's a part of me, my enthusiastic part, wants to take on the whole river. So don't overwork, and let our time together when we connect and we talk not just be about the pandemic. Let it be about what's fun, what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're creating, what we're enjoying, other than the problem. Don't let the problem be the focal point. Let life and the bigger life be the focal point. And that's been very good advice for me. Another one was learn something new. Learn something new. I'm learning I'm learning by observation how to cook, which is just by observation.
Well, Sabrina, I will clean for you anytime, but I'd rather eat your food than my food, and I'm looking forward to times when we could do that again. So this is a great time, once again, if you have any questions in the chat, put that in the chat as we continue our conversation. What are you, as you are thinking about the future, what are you most hopeful for, and what are you most excited about?
There's a couple things I'm hopeful for the planet. I'm hopeful that the stay-at-home model of working to a large degree will continue, because it is less pollution, it's less time wasted for people, it's more time to be at home and not be in the wear and tear of a lot of things that took away your time to be with yourself. So I would like that to be part of what we get out of this. We've all learned that it feels really good to be in your pajamas all the time. So maybe we could relax more. And I love shopping and clothes, but I have been basically in the same sweater for 6 weeks. It's been my favorite thing. So I've definitely experienced that I don't need much. I came here with a very small suitcase and packed super stupidly, so I don't have much of anything, and I haven't even used everything I've had. So that's been a really wonderful aha, that I could even simplify more and be perfectly content. So that's something I wonder if other people have experienced, and maybe just the idea that we don't need to be quite so consuming oriented, quite so layered with stuff could be nice. And that I love my friends and I need them more, less stuff, more friends, more friend connection.
Less is more, except in the friend category.
Except in the friend category.
Less is more.
More just, and more time to just tell everybody how much I love you. Mm-hmm. And how much, even this is just like the highlight of my day. Just being with all of you is just so nurturing to me. It's fun. It's nurturing. It's great. More of this. More real conversations. More time for them.
Well, Eleanor has a question about what practices do you have for energetic cleansing?
I think probably for me, my number one, I've had this practice now for several years, where I spend an hour in the morning meditating and an hour in the night meditating. And in that meditation, my focal point is empty, 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 empty. Empty, 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 empty. I give back to the universe, back to the universe, back to the universe, back to the universe. Breathe in light, release the rest. Breathe in light. And that has healed me from a lot of emotional pain and stress. It's healed me. Just empty. Give it back, God. I give you back everything that doesn't serve my highest good and the good of all whom I connect with. Take it, take it, take it. And I now have the hour in the morning. I get up an hour in the morning and do that before I end my day. And I do it as the last hour before I go to sleep. And I listen to some very calming music, and I just breathe in light, breathe out empty. And that is now very much an anchor of my life.
Well, I've got a few more questions, but for our people that are live with us today, I know we have people that are listening afterwards, people that are live today, I would love for you to put in the chat section what your takeaway is from today. Okay. I'd love to see that. And I want to make sure you're getting as much out of this as I am. I'm sure you are. Sonia, what's been your biggest gift from COVID-19 or quarantine life? So as Ron and Beth Hall as quarantine prison, quarantine gel. That's been a really good sentence. What's been your biggest gift? Obviously, you're hanging out with your daughter who you adore.
I call it the divine timeout. Been sent in the timeout. My biggest gift is that I had the intuitive guidance to leave Paris, where I live, by myself and come to London and be in the quarantine with my daughter Sabrina and her husband. First of all, it's a tremendous gift to be with my son-in-law because he's the most chill person I've ever met. And he does a lot of breathing and smiling, and he's my teacher right now. Because I see how he just, as an intuitive, sensitive person, I have also been, and better, but I can be reactive. I can react to noise. I can react to energy. And he just cruises through it. So I'm thinking, whoa, I was given a very good teacher because he just takes so little personally and laughs a lot. And I think, well, that is not my usual response to things. And so I'm going to practice this. And I can say it works. It works. And I thought, okay, I'm going to just do it in quarantine, that whatever bothers me now, I will not react to now. I'll give myself the date of August 15th. And if it bothers me on August 15th, it was something that's important. But if it's not bothering me on August 15th, that was just an arbitrary. But for now, it gets put in the August 15th box. And in the meantime, I will breathe and smile and not need to react. And if I didn't have this quarantine and have to be, and am a guest in someone's home that's not my own, and it's my son-in-law, and I really am being very beautifully hosted here, that's my gift. Don't be selfish in my reactionary nature. That's selfish. That's me being self. And I'm learning not to be. I'm learning to give more space and just not make it matter. And it's huge.
Rachel has a question. What's the most surprising thing to you about this time?
And my hair is not as gray as I thought.
It doesn't look gray at all from here.
that I don't need to, that I can be okay without all the things I normally would do and feel pretty good. I don't have makeup. I have bad hair. I don't have fancy clothes. All those things that I love. I mean, I have to say, I love them. I'm a Libra. I love that. But I have learned, and the big gift is, I don't need it. And that's really liberating. That's been very liberating.
Well, good. You can hang out with me more often then, because you know me how much I value being in comfortable clothes. I do like to have my hair kind of done, but besides that, I think I put mascara on a few times when I'm on video for stuff. Mostly not my own video, but when I'm on somebody else's.
I'm quite sure I'll go back to it, but I'll go back to it for different reasons. I'll go back to it because it's art and play, not because it's necessary.
I think a lot of people are finding that. Hey, if you had a magic wand, what would you do?
If I had a magic wand, I would bring my daughter Sonia to London because I miss her and she's in New Orleans. That's been my biggest challenge is not having us all together because we're more often together. So that's what I would do. I mean, I could do the big heal the world, but my more selfish self would bring my daughter here.
Well, I would like to bring all of you to Kansas City and go to the lake house and play cards and chill out. That's what I would like to do.
Well, I would come. I would be there.
We got to get those planes working so you can hop the pond there. For our listeners today and the people on, is we had your daughter Sonia Choquette on 2 weeks ago, and she was fabulous. What a huge home run. That was fun. So you guys, if you want to share anything else, now's the time, because we're going to be wrapping up here in just a few minutes. What do you think your medicine is for the world? I think everybody has medicine they give. What's the medicine you give?
My medicine is the invitation to always trust your vibes, because that is what will heal your life. And so my medicine is I'm a messenger, and the healer is the hearer, and give it the value and the importance that it deserves, because it will take care of you. Your intuition is your inner teacher. It's your inner grace, your inner guidance. It's your holy self, and it's your truth serum. And if you follow that and you learn to really respect that, everything else sorts out. So that's my medicine. And dance.
Dance, yes, you are. I need to get some dance. It's as you know, I have very little rhythm, but we don't need to go there, do we?
You have the best dance in the world. It's your dance. Don't you believe that you're what you're saying? You have your dance. I love your dance. It's an earth dance.
It is an earth dance. So what I want to do is I want to, first of all, say thank you so much for joining us today. I'm grateful for our time together. I'm grateful for having Beans in the background pitching in. I heard giggles occasionally. I want to share with you how you inspired us today, and then how you inspire me, and then stay on for a few minutes afterwards, and I want to ask you a couple questions. So Mark says, great wisdom. Thank you so much. And I just said, Mark, I thank you for showing up. Mark's been showing up with us about every day. And be gentle with yourself, Mark. That would be my guidance for you. Be gentle with yourself. You're having the courage to show up with a bunch of people. How great is that? And you've been vulnerable this whole time. So I just need to personally say, we love you. We see you. We appreciate you. And yes, I got yes. And Miriam, her lesson, breathe, smile. It's her new mantra. Thank you, Sonia. Liz, so many good thoughts and ideas. And Liz says, I got to see you in Kansas City a few times. Maybe if we get Sonia to the lake for a little holiday, maybe we'll get her to do something in person. Who knows? She's always pretty gracious with us.
I'll do it. I will do it. I give you my word.
Well, we have fun in Kansas City. So Rachel says it's always so refreshing and love being in your energy. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and guidance. And what I want to say to you is, and Eleanor said, thank you for your message on leading. What I want to say to you is thank you for having the courage to take the fire for a lot of people, for calling yourself an intuitive, psychic, and just really trusting that. To be doing that for, I wouldn't say in the intro, 40 years. And I know it's been longer because I know your age. And it takes a lot of courage. And I know you've taken a lot of bullets for people. So thank you for that. Thank you for saying yes and being my friend, and for gently nudging me and encouraging me. You inspire me. You inspire me to have more fun. When I think about your interaction, I've been in the audience. I was with you in Chicago sometime in the last, it feels like a year, maybe 2 years. What I love is that you do have fun. You dance, you sing, and sometimes you don't have the best voice, but you know what? You're pretty good. but you can dance.
Standards. That's it. We can't hold ourselves to standards that block our spontaneity. We all have our, like my voice and your dance, what a show that would be.
I don't know if we'd sell very many tickets, but people we'd have the courage. And the biggest courage is being so authentic in the book, Walking Home, and having the courage to not do the Camino just once, but do it twice. And you know what? You just are a great teacher on so many levels, and you're even a better friend. So thank you so much for spending time with us on rhythm and resilience today. Sabrina, Ahmed, I'm sending you guys lots of love. What a privilege it was to celebrate your marriage last year. And I can't wait to see you all soon.
Thank you. I love you all. Thank you for the privilege of the time together. It was a real pleasure.
All right, everybody. Big hugs to Sonia. Here's my heart-to-heart hugs. And we'll chat soon. I'll see you all tomorrow. We have Meredith Suarez with us tomorrow from Junior Achievement, talking about some of the cool things they're doing. in Kansas City and around the country with our young people. And then we'll have Reverend Adam Hamilton on Monday for Motivational Monday. All right. Have a great evening, and I'll see you tomorrow.